Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out some new releases from Bellroy. Here I have the Transit Travel Pack Pro, which is a really interesting addition to their lineup of bags. It's expandable and incorporates some of the aesthetics and features of their newer bags, which I've been talking about quite a bit over the past few months. And then there's also a new hanging toiletry kit, which is a really interesting travel accessory, also a great addition to their lineup of pouches and other accessories. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test these over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded them out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how they compare to some of the other similar items that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Taking a look at the Transit Travel Pack Pro, the aesthetic here is very similar to the Transit Workpack Pro. So it's got Bellroy's typical subdued minimal aesthetic, feels very clean and like it's gonna blend in nicely into a lot of different environments and just work well for all types of travel. As far as the materials, the bag feels very solidly built. This exterior fabric is a recycled Dura polyester that feels like it's going to offer a nice amount of durability and weather resistance. And I like that the material isn't super rigid, so it's going to allow the bag to mold around the items that are on the inside. And beyond that, you also have some really nice aqua-guarded YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you have a handle on the side and at the top. And this is really nice and a little bit different from the Transit Workpack series. Those don't have a side handle. This is something that is present on the Lite travel pack. And so great to have that here just to allow you to easily grab the bag in briefcase mode, well reinforced. You have kind of a seatbelt-like material here. And then same thing for the top. And on the other side, you have a zippered pocket that is meant to hold a water bottle. We'll take a closer look at that later in the video. And on the front of the bag, you have the Bellroy logo, like we've seen with the Transit Workpack Pro, so it blends in nicely here down at the bottom. And then the bag does manage to stand up fairly well on its own, particularly when it's loaded out and the weight is well distributed. The bottom is fairly wide, and so I've been able to place this down next to me. I have had to keep a little bit of a closer eye on it when I start to empty the bag out and the weight starts to shift a little bit, but so far I've been able to place it down and access the pockets when I've needed to. And then as far as the capacity, the bag comes in at about 30 liters when it's compressed down, which is an interesting minimal travel bag size in my opinion. This is something that you'll be able to carry on to a variety of domestic and international airlines and easily be able to store it in an overhead storage compartment. As a personal item, it starts to feel a little bit big for some of these stricter airlines, particularly on the height. This is a fairly tall bag and it's a little bit larger than what I would typically like to use for my day-to-day, but I do think it does work for EDC due to the sleeker silhouette of the bag, and it might also be nice for people that have longer days and need to carry some extra stuff. And then at 30 liters, it's similar in the listed volume to something like Bellroy's Lite travel pack, the 30-liter size. So you can see a side-by-side shot here just to get a sense of the differences. And so fairly close. And then this does remind me of the Transit Workpack Pro 28-liter size as well. This does feel bigger than that. I really enjoy using the Transit Workpack Pro as a daily bag, and so you can see some of the differences there. But again, with the silhouette of this bag, it still manages to stay, very sleek. It feels like it hugs my back nicely. And then it does have the ability to expand to 38 liters when you need that additional capacity. That's a great one bag travel size, something that's still carry-on friendly. It will still fit in an overhead storage compartment. It's gonna feel a little bit bulkier once you expand it and you add everything in there, but it still feels like something that's gonna be great for just navigating a city and jumping onto public transit and things like that. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. Bellroy has come out with a couple of different harnesses with the release of the Lite Travel Pack and the Transit Workpack Pro, but to me this one has been the most comfortable. It almost seems like it kind of blended the two harnesses to create something that's as robust as the Transit Workpack Pro, but a little softer right out of the box, which reminded me of the Lite Travel Pack. And so you still have the really great cushion padding here on the inside. You have a breathable material to help prevent moisture from building up. The straps have a pretty good width. I do wish that they were maybe slightly wider, particularly when you start to carry that 38 liters of capacity, but in general, this has felt robust enough that as I've been wearing it for a longer time, I haven't noticed any fatigue on my shoulders. And then you have an adjustable sternum strap with a magnetic buckle. And on the back, you have a similar level of padding to what's on the straps, well distributed all throughout. It has the breathable mesh as well. Good elevation here to create this air channel to provide you with airflow while you're walking around throughout the day. And then you also have a luggage pass-through that's been included here. And what's interesting is that unlike the Lite travel pack and the Transit Workpack Pro, this one has a luggage pass-through that's vertically oriented. So it will allow the bag to stand up so that you can easily access the laptop sleeve, which I really like. This reminds me of the Venture travel pack that Bellroy has. So a little bit of differences in how this is implemented. And I like this orientation, but this strap doesn't have a ton of elasticity. So depending on the type of luggage handle that you'll have, you'll want to keep an eye on that to make sure that it can fit over the handle comfortably. And then one last thing to call out here on the bottom is that you do have some attachment points that you could potentially pair with some sort of a waist belt that is not included with the bag if you want a little bit more support when it's loaded out. Jumping into the organizational options, the bag has a nice variety of pockets all throughout. The layout here feels pretty similar to the Transit Workpack Pro, but it also has some elements from the Lite travel pack mixed in. And so on the side, as I mentioned earlier, you have an external zippered pocket that can work as a water bottle compartment. And so it has a well-protected zipper, and this is able to handle my 20-ounce water bottle pretty comfortably. You can see that it expands to the outside, which is nice. So even if you have the main compartment packed out, you can store something like this. This is about as tall and large of a water bottle as I would be comfortable storing in here and still zipping the bag up. If you leave it open, you could probably fit something slightly larger, but you know, this to me feels like the right size. So again, 20 ounces. And then I like with these compartments that you can also store other types of gear. If you want to use this as a place to put a tech pouch or some charging cables or something like that, you can do so, again, because this compartment is well protected. So really like the versatility there. You only have one pocket on the side, unlike the Transit Workpack Pro, which has two external zippered compartments. You do still have the zippered pocket on the front that's got kind of the admin organization and some extra space. It goes down not quite all the way, but you know, enough capacity to store something a little bit taller. So at the moment I have a packable rain jacket here, and then I also placed a packable tote bag, which is a nice accessory that I like to have with me for traveling. And so both of those items slid down in there very comfortably. And then here on the lid, you have a nice compartment that is meant to be for sunglasses if you don't want to use a case. The material here is a little bit softer, again, similar to what's on the Transit Workpack Pro. And I'm using this to store my mouse and my AirPods because those are items that I'm grabbing pretty regularly. And to me, it just kind of made sense with the space that I have, because I like to use a sunglasses case with my sunglasses. And so that's what I have here in this pocket. This slip pocket offers a nice amount of volume. It's got the divider in the middle here, so you have two slightly larger areas. My sunglasses in one of them, and then I also have a little lanyard with a clip for your keys. And on the other side, I have a charging cable for my phone, my tablet, and you have a couple of small slots for something like a pen or a flashlight. On the back of the bag, you have a dedicated laptop compartment, and here you have a loop that can provide a little bit of theft deterrence. You can place the zipper pull through here, potentially attach it with some sort of a lock, and then you have easy access to your laptop. Again, this works nicely with the luggage pass-through, so it's oriented vertically so that you can easily access your device while you're going through security. And you have enough space for, you know, my 14-inch MacBook Pro. That's what I currently have here at the moment. I believe that a 15-inch laptop, maybe even a 16-incher could fit, but it feels like it would be a little bit tight. As far as the protection that's offered here, as with other Bellroy bags, they do a great job as far as providing padding. It's pulled up off the bottom of the ground, and then I can grab my laptop easily. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. It does come up a decent amount, but it starts to feel a little bit tight once you pack the main area out. So if you happen to have a thicker device or you want to use a case with your laptop, you'll have to kind of plan that out with the other things that you want to store. But with the amount of padding that's offered here and the fact that it's suspended, it does feel like my device is going to be well protected while I'm on the go. And then you also have a tech pocket here in the laptop section where I'm currently storing my USB-C hub and cables. That's what I use to charge my laptop and all my devices while I'm on the road. And so nice amount of space here. You could also pair this with one of Bellroy's tech pouches. And you have a zippered pocket here that's RFID protected, which is gonna be a good spot to store something like a passport or a wallet. I just have a field notes notebook in here at the moment to showcase the size. And then moving into the main compartment, this has a suitcase style opening for easy packing. One thing I wanted to note is that the zippers don't lock in the traditional sense, but they do offer enough space that you could pair this with a cable lock for some additional security. And then the zipper goes all the way around. And here is where the layout starts to remind me a little bit of the Lite travel pack, as far as having kind of an open space for your packing cubes and then a couple of zippered pockets on the lid. And so I'll take a look at the lid first. You have a smaller zippered pocket at the top. Nice mesh here to allow you to see what's on the inside, and it also has a good amount of volume. This is perfect for something like my passport wallet. This is near the top, so I can reach in, grab it, and it's not as exposed to the exterior pockets, but also a great spot for charging cables. I could have put my USB-C hub in there very comfortably. It has enough volume for that. You can also use this for, other small items that you don't want getting lost in this main area with the space that's provided. And then below that, you have another zippered pocket. This one has a vertical orientation on the zipper, so it's something that you could potentially access while you're holding this by the handle on the side. And I really like the amount of space and volume that's provided there. This was able to hold the hanging toiletry bag actually very comfortably. Fits in there perfectly. And then this has very similar kind of aesthetic to the bag itself with the recycled Durapolyester material, the minimal aesthetic. You have a handle at the top so that you can easily carry this or pull it out of a bag if you need to. And then you have the smooth working YKK zipper, and I really like the design here for this bag. This is meant to be self-standing, so you can place it down next to you on the counter and easily reach whatever you need to, but you also have this hook at the back that you can hide away, and then when you need to, you can just hang this out. A towel rack or something like that, a door handle works very comfortably, and then you can easily put it away. And I really like the layout of this toiletry bag because it doesn't go overboard as far as organization, but it gives you enough so that you can find your stuff when you need to. And so you have this larger area at the top that's going to be great for those bulkier things that you might be traveling with. I have deodorant in here, shaving cream, and then you have a zippered pocket on the front here for smaller items. So I have a nail clipper set. This is where I would put my contacts case, some medicines. And then you have a dedicated spot for your toothbrush. And so this has a nice kind of weather resistant material, and then you can still see through on the inside. I have a folding toothbrush here, but you can see that it can hold a full-size one. And then you have a really nice magnetic compartment here. So it's got this quick opening with plenty of space. And then, this, at the moment, I'm just using it to store a razor and the pomade that I travel with. Nothing too crazy, but it's nice to know that I have the space if I need it. And then the form factor of this stays pretty slim, and because it has that same Durapolyester, it's not rigid, so I can squeeze it down when I need to. So just a really, really great kind of dot kit alternative. Definitely the type of thing that I gravitate towards. And then moving to the other side, you have this spacious main compartment. At the moment, this is still compressed down. So I just wanted to showcase what the bag can hold as a 30-liter bag. And I have my typical Peak Design packing cube setup here. I have the small compressible packing cube, and then I also have the medium compressible packing cube. You do have the compression straps here, which is similar to the Transit Workpack Pro. And so take that out so you can get a better look at the inside. And the compression straps can be nice, but I would have been fine if this had been left off. And on the inside here, you have an additional zippered pocket. Again, another good spot for anything smaller that you don't want getting lost. And you also have the air tag holder in the label for the bag, which is a really clever idea. And here on the back, you can see the outline of the laptop area. So properly suspended here.
and the tech compartment, which if you fill it up with a ton of stuff, it's gonna poke into this area a little bit, so you wanna keep that in mind. And then, as I mentioned a few times, you do have the ability to expand this out. And so it has the zipper that goes all the way around to give you that extra 8 liters of capacity. So this expands out here. And then with that extra space, I would not only be able to hold the packing cubes that I had there previously, but I could also toss in an extra pair of shoes, a packable backpack, lots of different items with the extra storage space. Or if you're traveling and picking up souvenirs, you might want the ability to expand it out as well. So always nice to have the ability to expand, compress, and I really like, kind of the blend of some of Bellroy's different bags coming together into something like this that, is meant to be travel friendly, but can still be used as a daily bag. So, really like the aesthetic. This is something that I've called out with the Transit Workpack Pro already. I've really enjoyed that bag. So great to have another bag with a similar style. And if you're looking for something that is gonna give you a suitcase style of packing, but that's still gonna have, the great laptop protection and a nice organizational layout with that ability to expand, then this is gonna be a really interesting one to take a look at.
And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Transit Travel Pack Pro and the hanging toiletry bag over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase these on Bellroy's site. The hanging toiletry bag is going to come in at about $80, and then the Transit Travel Pack Pro is going to come in at around $340. So definitely premium pricing on these. They are an investment, and you are going to get something that's going to be solidly built and offer a nice feature set, but there's also going to be some other great bags in these price ranges that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing these out, they definitely reminded me of some of the other great items in Bellroy's ecosystem. I've been a big fan of their Lite travel packs, which are offered in a 30 and 38 liter size. Just a really great minimal travel bag option. Super lightweight, as the name implies, really comfortable harness system. It's got a luggage pass-through, a nice layout that's going to be able to hold an impressive amount of stuff without looking super big. And it's got a laptop compartment that's easy to get to, so just a lot of great functionality. And if you're looking for something that is going to help you save on weight and just be a really solid minimal travel bag, and that's going to be an excellent option to consider. The next bag this made me think of is the Tortuga expandable backpack, which is another really solid option that comes in at about 27 liters when it's compressed down and expands out to about 32 liters, so offering some nice flexibility as far as the capacity. And then the aesthetic on that is pretty similar to this as far as being more minimal. And it's got a nice layout. It opens up like a suitcase for easier packing. It's got a nice laptop compartment, some quick access pockets, very comfortable harness system that also includes a removable waist belt. So if you'd like to have a little bit more support, that'll be a great addition. And so, just a really versatile one bag travel option. And if you're looking for something that's expandable, that's going to prioritize comfort, then that's going to be an excellent option to consider. Another bag this made me think of is the Peak Design 30 liter travel backpack, which like this one is expandable. It's got a really sleek, modern aesthetic, weather resistant materials. It's got the dual external water bottle pockets, quick access pocket, big clamshell style opening for easy packing. And of course you have Peak Design's ecosystem of accessories that are meant to pair well with the bag. It's got a padded laptop sleeve that's integrated into the main area. You don't have a dedicated spot, which I would have liked to have, but you still have a lot of space. And then it is compressed at about 27 liters and then expands a little bit further out, so you have that flexibility. And then Peak Design also has a really great ecosystem of pouches. I really like their small wash pouch, which is a hanging toiletry bag. Kind of like this one, it's going to be a little bit more compact. It's got the accordion style organization that Peak Design is so well known for, and it pairs nicely with their travel bag. So if you're looking for a sleek, durable combo, then those are going to be some great options to take a look at. And then the last options I'll call out here are some of the great bags and accessories in Air's ecosystem. I'm a huge fan of the Travel Pack 3 Small and the regular Travel Pack 3. Those are some of my favorite one bag travel options. Very modern, techie aesthetic, super durable materials. I really love the harness system on Air's bags. Dedicated laptop compartment, clamshell style opening, nice organizational layout. And so those are just really solid travel bags. The 28 liter size on the Travel Pack 3 Small can also work as an EDC bag. There's no expandable option like this one here, so that's something to keep in mind. But if you prefer just something that's a little bit simpler as far as not having the expansion, if you want some variety of sizes and a really sleek style, the Travel Pack 3 lineup is going to be fantastic. There's also the City Pack Pro 2, which recently came out, And then Air also has a great ecosystem of pouches. I'm a big fan of the travel kit in particular. It's a hanging toiletry bag like this one. It opens up flat. It's got a nice layout. It's gonna pack down into a smaller travel bag pretty comfortably. So if you like this style of accessory for organizing your toiletries while you're traveling, that's gonna be another great one to consider. With that being said, the Bellroy Transit Travel Pack Pro and hanging toiletry bag hold up very well against all those options and are a great addition to Bellroy's already impressive lineup of travel and everyday accessories. And if you're looking for something that's going to be durable and help keep your stuff organized while you're on the go, then these are going to be some fantastic options to consider. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you think of Bellroy's new travel gear and how they compare to some of the other similar items that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Bellroy for sending the gear for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.